Hello and welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I'm Agam Vakil. We've seen benchmarks advance to a certain extent, and after showing a little bit of volatility earlier in the day, we eventually saw them close well in the green. We do have the Nifty, which is advanced by around 36 points. We do have gains in ONGC, Tata Motors, along with Bharti Airtel and Ultratech Cement. On the losing end, Infosys down 3.5%. We have Bajaj Finance and Finserv as well down, and declining to a certain extent is Power Grid. On the broader markets, we have nearly one gainer for one loser, and we have ITDC, which has shown tremendous amount of strength right now. Adani Gas is something that we'll be talking about in just a bit. Fine Organic Industry is doing very well in today's day of trade, along with something like Motilal Oswal and Birla Soft. On the losing end is the usual suspects, the ADAG company groups. Reliance Capital is down 10%. As the case for Reliance Infra, we have Gen Irrigation, which is under pressure. India Bulls Housing Finance also seeing declines coming through, along with Rights and Bajaj Consumer Care. But on that note, let me get in our markets editor, Neeraj Shah, for his thoughts here. Neeraj, what are you making of trade today?
Well, it was a good day until that flash from on the Bloomberg terminal about how China are needing more round of talks before they can conclude whether even the phase one of the deal is on or not. And that brought the European markets off, and it certainly brought our markets off. So the Nifty Bank, which at the start of countdown, is the 2 p.m. were up 1.5% or more, and it less than 0.5% higher for the Nifty Bank. So some bit of pullback, and it just really shows the flip-flops in the policy between the two nations, and how difficult it is then, therefore, for traders or day investors to try and bet on what a Donald Trump tweet is saying. I think that people will now start discounting that as well. But having said that, some of the gainers, Bharti Airtel or the telecom stocks in particular, doing well. And lastly, Agam, the PSU banks, again, one small note of caution, right? Everybody preempted that the FM will say something about the PSU banks.
Sure, right, absolutely.
And just coming off. So, looking okay, very stock specific, waiting for results, waiting for HUL to see how it does, because that might set the tempo for what the FMCG is making.
It's a very big one to watch out for sure. Neeraj, thanks for that perspective there. So that's as far as the way things have panned out today. Of course, one of these stocks that declined today is Infosys. Why? Strong, steady earnings in line with expectations, but it was a disappointment when it comes to guidance, because the guidance on the upper end was not revised upwards, and that's the reason why a lot of analysts do not perhaps like that fact, and they say that if the upside is capped, then the valuations are rich, and which also means that Infosys, is unlikely to see a considerable return from current market levels, at least based on the kind of earnings that we've seen. But on that note, let me also move on and talk about Adani Gas. News just before markets open that, Total SA is coming into the picture, but I'm going to, toss it over to Yatin Mota to take us through more on this. Yatin, what do we have?
Adani Gas, a company which is involved in city gas distribution, Adani Group company, of course, demerged from Adani Enterprises, has finally agreed to sell, stake in the company. This is the promoters. Of course, Total, which is a French, oil and gas major, has agreed to buy a 37.4% stake in the company. This will be split into two phases. Number one will be a 25.2% open offer for general public, in which the shareholders can tender shares in the open offer to sell it to the Total Group, and the remainder shares, in order to meet a 37.4% shareholding, those shares will be sold by the Adani Group. So this is something important. Of course, the open offer is priced at 149 rupees 63 paise per share, and this will be about a 25.2% open offer, as I was mentioning earlier. More importantly, apart from getting into city gas distribution, Total will also bring in equity, which will help the company ramp up their ongoing projects faster. Something important that was made as a disclosure in the press release was that they will be also getting into fuel retailing and will be opening up close to 1,500 petrol pumps. So this is a new business line which will be started via this particular event, and very important. The stock went up as much as 15% intraday post this news, beyond the open offer price of 149 rupees.
Of course, eventually closing the day with gains of around 9.5% at 151. Yatin, thank you so much for joining us and taking us through those. And finally, let's talk about two other buzzers in the mid-cap space, and we have Sharad Dubey who's joining us to give us that. Sharad.
Yeah, Agam, I think the first stock was Birla Soft. The news came in around 2 o'clock that, the company had signed a 240 million agreement with Invacare Corporation. Now, this is an MNC company, which is dealing with medical equipments and also other home care products. Now, if you see the stock reaction, what has happened, is, the stock over the past 4 trading sessions is marginally declining, but today the stock, went as high as almost 9%, touching the 66 mark and ended the day at almost 63 rupees and 15 paise per share. So basically the company will be actually giving operational support and also building a new analytical platform, using the SAP HANA platform for the company. Apart from this, in the real estate sector, that has been actually been the best performing index today itself, and DLF, increased by almost as high as 8% today after PTI reported that almost the company has sold almost 326 flats worth rupees 700 crore in its Gurugram project. So basically the management stated that roughly almost 75% of its total 504 units were sold. So basically this is a luxury project. The first stage of this project actually happened with Ultima in 2013, which saw a launch of almost 400 units. So these projects have 3 to 4 BHKs, which start from between from more than 1.6 crore onwards. So this is something which you should be watching out for, because this shows a sign of a revival in the realty sector, as which we have been seeing.
Right. Okay, Sharad, thanks for joining us and getting us those details on 2 other stocks. Of course, besides that, we are also keeping an eye on the big earnings, Hindustan Unilever, which will react to, well, its earnings tomorrow in trade. And of course, tomorrow we also have ACC and Wipro coming out with their results. But on that note, it's a wrap on the markets, but lots more lined up. Stay tuned to BloombergQuint.